multimillionaires. They're not exactly oppressed. Look, if they want to take all of their after-tax income and give it to a left-wing nutcase group, that's their right as an American citizen. I applaud them. Go ahead and be an active citizen. If they want to go out in the off-season and march with people who I think are crazy, that's fine. But don't, when I'm watching a football game, don't impose on me your sense that somehow, even though you're a multi-millionaire and have opportunities almost nobody on the planet has, you feel oppressed. If you're a multi-millionaire who feels oppressed, you need a therapist, not a publicity stunt.
Yeah, and I think you're speaking for a lot of Americans when you speak about your frustration, how you've been feeling for some time. And this is what the president often does, is he touches things that are very sensitive, that leaders don't often want to touch, that are controversial, that are difficult. Incorrect. But as you said, it's a conversation that needs to be had. So the NFL, many of them are getting behind these players that have decided to kneel. Sure. Bob Kraft is the latest one, the Patriots owner, and he's someone who early on was a supporter of President Trump. He says, "I'm deeply disappointed by the tone of the comments made by the president on Friday. I'm proud to be associated with so many players who make such tremendous contributions in positively impacting our communities. There is no greater unifier in this country than sports, and unfortunately, nothing more divisive than politics. I support their right to peacefully affect social change and raise awareness in a manner that they feel is most impactful." Well, your thoughts on that?
Well, he's got a good writer. Look, I mean, Bob Kraft's a very smart guy, but he noticed that he steps past it. What he just said at the end of his paragraph is what condemns the players that are doing this. That sports should be a unifying thing. Politics is a divisive thing. Well, why is the NFL allowing politics to now be on the playing field? As I said a while ago, the NFL doesn't mind stepping in to say you can't have more than one player celebrating a touchdown. They'll give you a penalty for doing that. Okay?
Well, on top of that,
well, all they got to do is say to the players, be respectful of the national anthem and the flag on behalf of the many Americans who have died defending your right to become a millionaire. And if you can't be respectful, don't come on the field until after they've had the opening ceremony.
Not to mention the example of the Dallas Cowboys. They wanted to place decals or stickers on their helmet after 5 Dallas police officers were assassinated, and the NFL said, no, you can't do that. I mean, why when Roger Goodell, as he sits in his loft over here making decisions from on high, why can't he see that common sense perspective that we play a game for a living, this country affords us that opportunity, we know you have but this is a workplace, and inside this workplace and inside those lines on Sunday, respect your country and stand up and play, and if you want to protest the other 6 days of the week, you can do that. Why can't they take that approach?
Because the elites will never take on the left. The elites will never take on their social friends who are on the left. And watch what I just said. If we allow this to go down this road, presently their answer will be, let's avoid the problem by no longer playing the national anthem. I mean, that's the direction they'll go in to appease the most disruptive, the most left-wing, the most anti-American.
Yeah, but what is that going to do to viewership, society? Speaker? What is that going to do to the NFL viewership? Well, we already have polls showing that people are not watching anymore because, in many cases, people say because of the kneeling.
Well, I think the NFL leadership has a real challenge now. If they decide they're going to side with those, and again, I want to reemphasize, we're now watching, college students or people in poverty. You're watching people who have been made millionaires by America, people who have lives of extraordinary opportunity. You would think they'd be a little bit grateful to the country, which has protected them, made them wealthy, given them freedom. And again, I don't have any problem if they want to be totally left-wing and give money to left-wing candidates, that's fine with me. But I don't think they should have the right to break up what has been, since 1862, a national tradition. Think about it, 155 years we've been playing the national anthem at sporting events, and now these guys are the first step towards driving the national anthem out of modern society.
Mr. Speaker, it's not just the NFL, it's also the NBA. Yesterday, I mean, Stephen Curry had said for a long time, I don't think I want to go to the White House. Well, President Trump saw that he had made those statements and then tweeted out, well, I guess you're uninvited. The Golden State Warriors the next day put out a statement alongside with Steph Curry saying this. The Golden State saying, we're not going to the White House. We believe there is nothing more American than our citizens having the right to express themselves freely on matters important to them. In lieu of a visit to the White House, we've decided that we'll constructively use our trip to the nation's capital in February to celebrate equality, diversity, and inclusion, the values that we embrace as an organization. I mean, equality, diversity, and inclusion, it reads like a left-wing rap sheet. I mean, why take this approach?
First of all, didn't they just win a championship?
Yeah.
What's equal about winning a championship? They're not equal. They're number one. They're proud to be number one.
Well, and where are there women in the NBA, Mr. Speaker? What about the WNBA? Why do they have a separate league? That's not equal.
I'm just saying, that you get all of this left-wing rhetoric, but the fact is, what has made America extraordinary is that we reward winners. I mean, all the guys who are complaining in the NFL are winners. Now, otherwise, they wouldn't be on the field. The guys that are complaining in the NBA are winners. So when they talk about equality, I'd like to know, do they think maybe, somebody once said, we ought to take the Super Bowl, the Lombardi trophy, and each week it goes to a different team so that even the worst team in the league at least gets it for 1 week so they feel better about themselves. I mean, that's sort of where the left carries you to with their version of equality. There shouldn't be any winners and losers. Well, the essence of sports is that there are winners and losers. That you got to go out and study hard, work hard, practice hard, and that the best of you should win, and we should then recognize you as winners. So in a way, that's kind of a funny press release.
Mr. Speaker, let's talk about hypocrisy. Remember Tim Tebow? He took a knee for very different reasons. Are we looking at hypocrisy here, the way he was viewed, taking that knee, praising his faith in Jesus Christ?
Of course you are, because you have an elite which is essentially anti-religious and is and will not take on the hard left. As I said earlier, one of the things I've done is I'm developing an entire course online called Defending America, because I concluded that unless we're prepared to take issues like this and tell the truth, I mean, the average American doesn't realize we've been doing this since 1862 during the Civil War. There's a deep American tradition, which I was very proud of, and which I feel very sad to watch this handful of people begin to break up. And I feel really sad at the cowardice of people like Roger Goodell, who are going to preside over the decay of American institutions rather than take on young players who, as I said earlier, are multimillionaires and are among the most privileged people in America.
You get to the heart of it, Mr. Speaker. It used to be left-right, and we agreed on these comments. Now the left has gone so far left that conservatives are left just defending the very nature of America.
But you know what? You also make a great point in that we have to have these conversations, right? We have to talk about this. These are not easy. They're sensitive, they're difficult, but they have to be had. And we've got to find a way to come together. Speaker, really great perspective this morning.